Behind the golden gates of Buckingham Palace, a royal truth has finally slipped through the cracks, and it's sending shockwaves through the monarchy. At a glittering royal banquet, Princess Anne stunned the room with one sentence that challenged everything. Standing beside her brother, King Charles, she revealed a secret so powerful it could shift the royal line forever. What was said? Why now? And what does it mean for Queen Camilla's crown? Loyalty, legacy, and truth have collided, and the fallout could change the royal family for good. Buckle up, because what happens next will leave you speechless. The shocking night that changed everything. It started like any other royal evening. Glamour, grace, and golden chandeliers sparkling above a long banquet table. Guests in dazzling gowns whispered polite niceties, and the air buzzed with quiet elegance. But behind those smiles was a storm waiting to strike. The wine flowed, laughter echoed, and then stillness. One moment changed everything. Princess Anne, calm but firm, looked across the room and delivered a sentence that dropped like a stone in still water. "You are the queen consort, not the queen." Her words sliced through the hum of conversation. For a second, the room froze. No one spoke, no one moved. Even the air seemed to stiffen. Those close to the royal circle knew Anne didn't speak unless it truly mattered. And when she did, her voice carried the weight of duty, history, and truth. That night, she wasn't just speaking for herself. She was speaking for the promise made to their late mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Anne's statement wasn't a public insult. It was a stand for tradition. She was defending a promise the Queen herself had emphasized, that Camilla would be queen consort, never queen in her own right. Anne saw herself as a guardian of that memory, and when it looked like that wish was being ignored, she acted. That's what she wanted, Anne reportedly reminded her brother and his wife. And in doing so, she shook the royal walls. The banquet went on, toasts were made, smiles returned, but the mood had shifted. Tension wrapped itself around the table like fog. Guests glanced at one another, unsure how to react. But one thing was clear. Something fundamental had changed. Anne had broken the silence that had hovered around Camilla's rising title. And now, the royal family could no longer pretend everything was fine. What happens behind the walls of Buckingham Palace rarely escapes into the public eye. But that night, Anne cracked the surface, and beneath it, years of silent tension were finally exposed. But where did all this tension really begin? Let's go beyond the banquet and into the quieter, colder world of royal politics, where siblings clash, secrets grow, and loyalties are tested. Behind the palace walls. The royal family is known for their polished appearances and measured words. But beneath the surface, emotions run deep. Anne and Camilla's relationship may look civil on the outside, but inside the palace, it's far more complicated. Their conversations are polite, but distant. Their smiles, rehearsed. And behind those closed doors, every gesture, every word, holds meaning. The tension isn't shouted, it's whispered. And that makes it even more powerful. Anne was raised in a palace where tradition was the foundation. Camilla, on the other hand, married into the monarchy with her own ideas. That difference created an invisible wall between them. Anne believes in sticking to rules. Camilla believes rules can be reshaped. And while they've never had a screaming match in public, their quiet disagreements have become an open secret inside royal circles. Then there's the man caught in the middle, King Charles. As both brother and husband, he's pulled in two directions. On one side is Anne, the loyal sister, standing for their mother's wishes. On the other is Camilla, the woman he fought to marry, now pushing for her full place beside the throne. Charles has tried to keep peace, but in doing so, he may have let the tension quietly grow beyond control. Despite their differences, both women care about the monarchy. But they see the future in very different ways. Anne believes that following the Queen's original vision protects the crown's dignity. Camilla believes evolving with the times strengthens it, and with the Queen gone, that disagreement has no referee. Just two powerful women walking opposite paths in the same palace. So, how does Princess Anne manage to stand her ground in a family known for compromise? What gives her the courage to speak her truth when others stay silent? The answer lies in her record. A life built not on drama, but on decades of relentless service. Let's take a closer look at the woman who may just be the monarchy's strongest anchor. Princess Anne. Princess Anne. Princess Anne doesn't chase headlines. She earns respect. While other royals find themselves tangled in public gossip or Instagram drama, Anne quietly works. And she's been working for over 5 decades. Since she was just 18, she's carried out more royal duties than any other member of the family. Over 20,000 engagements. No shortcuts. No fuss. Just a tireless commitment to the crown. But Anne's strength isn't just in numbers, it's in choices. She refused to give royal titles to her children, believing they should shape their own futures. She drives herself to events, dresses for function over fashion, and rarely plays the press game. Her famous 1982 quip, telling photographers to naff off, didn't hurt her image. It made her real. She's blunt, tough, and unapologetically herself. And that has earned her quiet admiration. Her relationship with Camilla? It's complicated. Long before Camilla joined the royal family, she married Andrew Parker Bowles, a man who had once been in love with Anne. They couldn't marry due to religious rules, but the bond between Anne and Andrew never fully broke. Camilla's role in that past, followed by her marriage to Anne's brother, may have left lasting scars. To Anne, it wasn't just history, it was personal. Even so, Anne never lets personal feelings override duty. At every major royal event, she stands tall, often in military uniform, a symbol of loyalty and discipline. When she spoke out at the banquet, it wasn't for drama, it was for legacy. "We are what we remember," she once said in private, according to a family friend. And she remembers the Queen's words well. As we see Anne holding firm to tradition, we begin to understand the storm brewing in the palace. Because while Anne guards the past, another woman is rewriting the present. So who is Queen Camilla now? And how did she climb from scandal to the heart of the monarchy? The answer may surprise you. Queen Camilla's journey into the royal family was never smooth. For years, she was the outsider, the other woman, the name that never sat well with royal fans. Her relationship with Prince Charles was once the most controversial love story in Britain. But through time, persistence, and carefully chosen public steps, Camilla went from scandal to status. And now, she's not just Charles's wife, she's Queen Consort. But is that enough for her? She spent years building a new image. Charities, public appearances, and softer interviews became her tools of transformation. Camilla championed causes close to her heart, from osteoporosis awareness to helping victims of domestic abuse. Slowly, she shifted public perception. No longer just seen as Diana's rival, she became a woman trying to make a difference. But behind the good intentions, some insiders say she always had her eye on something bigger, a seat of real influence. Anne, however, isn't buying the transformation. She sees Camilla's expanding presence at state events, her growing list of royal duties, and her quiet efforts to reshape protocol. Some royal aides whisper that Camilla is modernizing the palace structure. But to Anne, it looks like overreach. A gentle push into spaces she was never meant to occupy. Anne hasn't openly called it ambition, but her body language does. And that's what made the banquet confrontation so intense. It wasn't just a one-time outburst. It was the culmination of years of watching Camilla climb higher. There's a difference between acceptance and rewriting the rules, one former palace aide reportedly said. For Anne, the line was crossed the moment Camilla began to act more like a queen and less like a consort. But long before titles and tension, there was something more intimate, more painful, between Anne and Camilla. A story buried in the past. A man who linked them both. And a heartbreak that still lingers in royal memory. It's time to revisit the one chapter no one dares speak about openly. The secret triangle of Anne, Andrew, and Camilla. A love triangle reborn. Before the royal titles, before the public scrutiny, Princess Anne was just a young woman in love. The man's name? Andrew Parker Bowles. A dashing, charismatic figure who shared a real connection with Anne. But there was a problem. He was Catholic. And back then, that meant their relationship couldn't become official. The royal rules forbade it. And just like that, what could have been a future turned into a forbidden memory. Not long after Anne and Andrew's split, something unexpected happened. Andrew married Camilla. And while Anne may not have shown it outwardly, those close to her say the pain was real. It felt like a double betrayal, losing the man she once loved and watching him marry a woman who would later become part of her own royal circle. The emotional history between them never made headlines, but it shaped how Anne saw Camilla forever. Over the years, Anne and Andrew stayed close. He became the godfather to her daughter Zara, and their friendship never faded. But Camilla, now married to Charles, was never quite comfortable with their bond. Some say jealousy, others say tension, but whatever it was real. And for Anne, the message was simple. You may have married him, but you'll never rewrite what we had. The triangle didn't just cause emotional tension, it became part of the bigger royal drama. When Anne stood tall at the coronation, riding horseback in full regalia, it wasn't just a nod to tradition, it was a message, a declaration of who she is and what she stands for. While Camilla sat quietly in her new role, Anne made sure no one forgot where the real power and memory still stood. But the past isn't the only place where Camilla has faced resistance. Even today, there are others within the royal family who watch her with quiet skepticism. And at the heart of that watchful gaze, none other than Kate Middleton. What happens when the future queen and the current consort quietly compete for grace, popularity, and legacy? Let's take a look. The unspoken rivalry. When Kate Middleton first entered the royal world, she was everything the monarchy needed. Poised, graceful, and instantly adored. Queen Elizabeth saw potential in her, and so did the public. But not everyone was convinced. Camilla, behind the palace doors, reportedly had doubts. Could Kate truly handle royal life? Was she prepared for the pressures? Those questions, though never spoken aloud, hung over the early years of Kate's royal journey. But Kate proved them wrong. She took the spotlight with ease, balanced her royal duties with motherhood, and stayed calm under intense media pressure. Camilla, who had fought for years to be accepted, watched as Kate won hearts in record time. No scandals, no drama, just quiet strength. And that quiet strength may have been what irked Camilla the most. Unlike Anne, Kate never directly challenged Camilla. But in a way, her mere presence did. The public saw her as a modern Diana, kind, approachable, and effortlessly elegant. Camilla, by contrast, still carried the weight of old scandals. While she tried to modernize her image, Kate simply lived it. That difference didn't go unnoticed inside palace walls. At official events, they smile. They stand side by side. But insiders say there's a chill, polite but unmistakable. Kate doesn't try to compete. She doesn't need to. She already has the public's love. And that unspoken rivalry continues, not through words, but through the way each woman moves through the royal spotlight. And while Kate may be winning the present, there's still one figure from the past who shapes it all: Princess Diana. Her memory still casts a shadow, especially over Camilla's path. Up next, we'll explore how the ghost of Diana continues to haunt the crown and shape the future of the monarchy. Stay with us. The unspoken feud. Some royal rifts are loud, public, and explosive. But the one between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla has always been quieter, colder, and perhaps more powerful. From icy glances to formal greetings, their tension has lived beneath the surface for decades. It's never been shouted in interviews or spilled in tabloids. It plays out in posture, presence, and protocol. And those who know the royal family say the animosity is as real as the crown itself. Anne never truly embraced Camilla's entry into the royal family. From the very beginning, she held back. At Charles and Camilla's wedding in 2005, her body language said it all: stiff, distant, unmoved. While the public slowly came around to accept Camilla, Anne never pretended. Her loyalty was to her late mother and to Diana's memory. In her mind, Camilla hadn't earned the position she was claiming. Not through birth, not through duty. But this wasn't just about old heartbreaks or protocol. It became a matter of principle. Anne believes blood royals should always take precedence over those who marry in. That belief shapes everything, from seating arrangements to ceremonial roles. While Camilla might have Charles's heart, Anne has the family's backbone. Her role is not to charm, but to uphold. And when Camilla began moving closer to the center of power, Anne stood her ground. The distance between them isn't just a personal feud. It's a clash of royal identities, one built on heritage and unshakable rules, the other built on second chances and public reinvention. And as long as Camilla holds the title of queen, Anne's silence will speak louder than any royal decree. But Anne isn't the only one who sees Camilla differently. The public, especially older generations, have never forgotten Diana. And the question remains, can a woman so tied to royal scandal ever truly wear the crown in the people's hearts? Let's dive into the lasting legacy of Britain's most beloved princess and the shadow she still casts over Camilla. The ghost of Diana. It's been decades since Princess Diana walked the palace halls, but her presence, her energy, her legacy still lingers in every corner of the monarchy, especially around Camilla. For the British public, Diana wasn't just a princess. She was a symbol of grace, of tragedy, of the royal family's emotional cost. And that memory hasn't faded. If anything, it's grown stronger over time. When Camilla entered the royal spotlight, she did so under the darkest of shadows. As the woman once blamed for breaking Diana's marriage, public forgiveness didn't come easy. Even after marrying Charles, Camilla avoided grand displays. Her wedding wasn't at Westminster Abbey. It was a quiet civil ceremony. No tiara, no fanfare. It wasn't just about respect for Diana. It was about damage control, because the world still remembered and judged. Prince William, Diana's eldest son, has always been courteous to Camilla. But insiders say there's a careful distance, a boundary. William lost his mother young, and while he understands royal duty, he's never been fully warm toward Camilla. He shows respect. But love? That's harder to fake. Their relationship, like everything in the royal world, is built on quiet restraint. And it's not just about William. It's about the people. Many still see Diana as the real queen in their hearts. Camilla may have the title, the crown, even the ceremonies. But Diana remains the symbol of what the monarchy could have been. When Anne stood up to Camilla, many in Britain silently nodded. Because for them, Diana never truly left. While the memory of Diana haunts Camilla's every step, there's one woman who seems to carry her spirit forward with dignity and purpose: Kate Middleton. She isn't just the Duchess of Cambridge. She's the future queen. And for many, she's a living echo of Diana's grace. So how does Kate fit into all of this? Let's explore. The People's Princess 2.0. Kate Middleton never asked for the spotlight. It found her. From the moment she began dating Prince William at St. Andrews, she was under a microscope. But instead of cracking under pressure, she rose quietly and steadily. No scandals, no missteps, just a graceful, grounded presence that has grown stronger with each year. Today, she's not just the Duchess. She's the monarchy's future. What makes Kate powerful is her authenticity. She doesn't compete with Camilla, but she naturally overshadows her. With every public event, Kate radiates calm, confidence, and relatability. She's deeply involved in causes like mental health, early childhood development, and education, not just for photo ops, but with substance, and that's what wins hearts. She shows up, she listens, and most importantly, she's real. To the public, Kate is a modern-day Diana. She brings warmth where others bring distance. She engages without overexposing. And her elegance, paired with humility, has made her one of the most beloved royals today. In a world still mourning Diana, Kate offers a sense of hope, a vision of what royalty can be, compassionate, grounded, and gracefully modern. Camilla may hold the title of Queen Consort, but Kate is already being seen as a queen in waiting. A woman who doesn't need to claim power, she earns it. Her presence reminds the palace that dignity doesn't have to be loud. And for those who remember Diana, Kate's journey feels like a second chance for the crown to get it right. But the quiet power of Kate is only one piece of the puzzle. Within the palace, where alliances and tensions shift like shadows, Camilla's role still faces challenges, not just from Anne and Kate, but from William himself. What does the future hold when the next king may have very different plans for the woman his mother never accepted? Let's find out. Cold War of Queens. Royal smiles can hide royal storms. Behind every shared balcony moment and joint engagement, there's a story the cameras don't catch. For years, there's been a subtle chill between Queen Camilla and Princess Kate. It's not open hostility, it's something quieter. A look, a pause, a carefully measured interaction. Those who pay close attention have noticed the coolness, especially when Kate began winning public affection in ways Camilla never could. Camilla may have doubted Kate's ability to handle royal life early on, but the Duchess proved her wrong. As Kate's confidence grew, so did her public appeal. She connected with people in a way that felt effortless. No scandals, no drama, just grace under pressure. That contrast only deepened the divide. While Camilla worked hard to gain respect, Kate seemed to earn it naturally. That unspoken comparison left a lingering tension in the air. It didn't help that Kate's image mirrored Diana's so strongly. The media often paints Kate as the next people's princess, a title Camilla could never claim. With each public appearance, Kate radiated the same quiet charm that once defined Diana. For Camilla, that meant constantly being compared to a legacy she could never outrun. Even at events where they stand side by side, it's clear who the public's eyes are on. Inside the palace, this rivalry remains controlled, but undeniable. Both women play their roles. They show respect. They smile. But the energy between them says more than their words ever will. And as Kate's future as queen becomes clearer, the contrast grows sharper. Camilla may hold the crown now, but it's Kate the people are watching. It's Kate who represents the monarchy's next chapter. But if Camilla feels uneasy with Kate, the tension she carries with William is even more complex. He's no longer just the prince, he's the heir. And when the day comes that he wears the crown, what will he do with the woman he never truly accepted? Let's explore the strained bond between Prince William and Queen Camilla, and the decision that could reshape royal history. Prince William and the Camilla Dilemma. Prince William has always been a model of royal composure, calm, respectful, measured. But when it comes to Queen Camilla, there's a distance that even politeness can't fully hide. He was only a teenager when his world was shaken by the collapse of his parents' marriage. And whether spoken or not, Camilla has remained a symbol of that painful past. That shadow continues to follow both of them. Camilla feared William's judgment from the start. She worried that he would never forgive her role in Diana's heartbreak. And though William never caused a scandal, those close to him say he keeps Camilla at arm's length. He's cordial, he's respectful. But the warmth isn't there. Not like it is with other family members. Their interactions feel careful, almost rehearsed, like both know they're navigating fragile ground. Now, as the future king, William faces a decision. One day, the titles and the roles will be his to assign. While Camilla currently holds the title of Queen Consort, some insiders believe William may scale back her public role when he ascends, not as punishment, but as preservation. A way to honor his mother's memory and redefine the monarchy for a new era. A quiet course correction the public might quietly support. Camilla may wear the crown, but she knows it isn't secure. Not emotionally, not symbolically. William represents the future, and he carries the power to shape what that future looks like. For Camilla, the most painful truth may be that no matter how hard she works, Diana's memory lives on, not just in William's heart, but in the decisions he'll one day make. And while William may carry Diana's legacy forward, there's already someone doing that in the public's eyes: Kate. Her popularity continues to grow, and her grace reminds millions of a princess lost too soon. Let's take a deeper look at how Kate has quietly become the new symbol of royal hope, and why that may leave Camilla feeling overshadowed. The People's Princess 2.0, Kate and the Legacy of Diana. Kate Middleton's rise wasn't instant, it was earned. From shy university student to confident royal leader, her transformation has captured hearts across the world. But what makes her journey so powerful is how much of it mirrors Diana's, not in fashion or fame, but in connection. Like Diana, Kate makes people feel seen, and in a monarchy built on tradition, that human touch has become her greatest strength. While Camilla fought to change her public image, Kate never had to try. Her quiet warmth, steady loyalty, and visible dedication to her causes all speak for themselves. Whether she's visiting schools, supporting mental health, or balancing motherhood with duty, Kate never acts like a figurehead. She acts like a person, a royal with a real heart. And the public sees that. What makes the contrast even sharper is that Camilla still struggles with acceptance. Decades later, her image has improved, but it's not embraced. Kate, however, is admired by every generation. She's seen as the future and as the rebirth of what Diana represented: compassion, poise, and purpose. When Kate enters a room, she doesn't have to demand attention. She naturally earns it. For Camilla, it must be hard. She worked to rebuild her place in the monarchy. She gave years of quiet service. But despite that effort, Kate has effortlessly become everything the public wanted in a future queen. And that quiet comparison continues to define both. Of their journeys, one woman rising through redemption and the other through quiet grace. But now that all the cards are on the table, Anne's challenge, Camilla's rise, William's quiet watch, and Kate's growing legacy, the question remains: what does the future hold for the royal family? And has the balance of power already begun to shift? Let's close with what this secret truly means, and how the monarchy may never be the same again. The secret that couldn't stay hidden. The banquet may be over, but its echo still lingers through the royal halls. Anne's words, deliberate and powerful, marked more than just a moment of confrontation. They revealed a crack in the foundation, a secret no longer hidden. The tension wasn't new. It had been growing for years. But in that single moment, it was undeniable. The Queen's promise had been forgotten, and Anne made sure no one could ignore it anymore. Camilla now faces a throne wrapped in silence, suspicion, and sacrifice. She has the title. She has the crown. But the support? That's fractured. Anne stands as the voice of tradition. Kate, the embodiment of hope. William, the quiet heir with unresolved loyalty to his mother. And the public, still divided. Some have moved on. Others never will. The monarchy now stands at a crossroads, caught between memory and modernity. And as Charles watches his family tread carefully through these delicate dynamics, he must wonder, did he choose love at the cost of legacy? Did marrying Camilla reshape the monarchy in ways he never expected? It's a question that hangs quietly in the background, one that Anne may already believe she knows the answer to. This was never just about titles or names. It was about loyalty, family, and the promises we make to those who came before us. And now that the secret is out, nothing can go back to how it was. The crown may glitter, but underneath, it carries the weight of history, heartbreak, and choices that will echo for generations. It was supposed to be just another night of royal elegance, a grand banquet under Buckingham Palace's sparkling chandeliers, laughter, toasts, jewels, the usual splendor. But behind the polished smiles and rehearsed charm, tension had been bubbling for years, and on this particular evening, it finally exploded. As Queen Camilla held court beside King Charles, all seemed perfectly in place, until Princess Anne stood up, calm, composed, but with fire behind her eyes. "You are the Queen Consort, not the Queen," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. The room fell silent. That moment, those words, shattered years of royal silence. For decades, Anne remained the palace's most devoted guardian of tradition. But now, she and Charles were revealing something they could no longer hide. A private truth, born from Queen Elizabeth's dying wishes, a line that had been crossed, and a quiet battle that had finally gone public. What followed was not just a family dispute, but a moment that may alter the very future of the monarchy. Behind this revelation lies an emotional history. Unspoken feuds, forbidden love, and royal promises that were never meant to be broken. Why did Princess Anne speak now? Where does King Charles truly stand? And what role does Queen Camilla really play in this unfolding storm? The crown has never felt heavier. Let's unravel the secret that could change the royal family forever.